Because voice is a muscular activity, it's affected by our physical state and our mental state too. So in order for the voice to be effective, the mind and the body have to come together and have to be ready to do the work we're going to ask of them. So you think of athletes and people who are going in for very heavy physical pursuits. They don't just wander onto the track or the start of the race or whatever it is, or the pool side if they're swimming. They warm up and they spend quite some time getting their body ready before this enormous great burst of effort. If they didn't, they risk injury, and once you strain a muscle or damage yourself as an athlete, you're out of the sport, but you're out of work for a long time, and you can't risk that. So you warm up, and yet we expect our voices, which are made by our bodies, to just work for hours, 2 hours sometimes, without even thinking about it. So we need to prepare it just a little bit. Now that means your body needs to be relaxed. You need to make sure that you're not holding any tension anywhere. It's important particularly to have your shoulders nice and free. So move them around forwards and backwards. Take one up, take the other one up, let it drop, and just make sure that you've got no tight muscles around here. You can also put your arms behind your back and just feel a little bit of a pull across here, which is opening up the chest and the breathing mechanism. So, nice and free. You're standing well. Posture's already been demonstrated for you, but the posture affects your breathing and also affects how much tension you are holding, which you shouldn't be when you're standing up. So you're nice and free and these muscles are nice and loose. You're then going to be ready to breathe, and you want to practice taking some nice deep breaths. That means draining all your breath out, then allowing a nice full breath in, and then let it come out very slowly on a long sort of sigh, like sort of. When you do that, you'll feel your lungs collapse, and that means that they're then ready for the next breath. We don't have to tell ourselves to breathe, it just happens. It's a reflex. So when you've drained it out, you allow a breath to come in. You use that breath in whatever way you like. I'm just demonstrating it like this. It's all gone. And I'm ready for another one. So some nice deep breaths, partly because that's opening up your lungs and getting fresh air in. And fresh air is very important because you're probably working indoors in a confined space, and many churches are a little bit dry, possibly, dare I say it, even a bit dusty. And sometimes they're a little bit damp. So the atmosphere is not nice for the throat and the voice. So you want to make sure that when you breathe, you have good fresh air. So get some good air in your lungs before you start. So your breathing is going to be good. You're nice and free. How are we going to get this rest of the face ready? Going to do some exercises with the face, the nose, all of these things. Massage. That. Just a bit. And then do a drop of the jaw to loosen and feel that your jaw goes down, and feel when you do that the back of the tongue also drops. And when the tongue drops, that means you've got a much bigger space at the back of the mouth for the sound to come out. So stretching the face, doing things like silly rabbit waffles, and then saying a few sort of tongue twistery things like mixed biscuits, mixed biscuits, mixed biscuits, mixed biscuits. And if you do them up and down as well, you're exercising the different pitches in your voice. And red leather, red lorry, yellow lorry. Sounds very easy when you speed it up. Red leather, red lorry, yellow lorry. Not so easy. It's good for all those bits of your articulation processes to get them moving. So muttering a few things like that, I'm sure you know many others, in the car on the way down, on your bike, or when you're walking the dog before you come into church, anything just to get the muscles moving, because you're asking your voice suddenly from nothing to do a whole service and to do all the things that are involved in that. It's a muscle, it needs looking after, it needs to be warmed up. And that's also part of the process of caring for it. If you've warmed it up, you're far less likely to get so tired and far less likely for it to be damaged. So it's exercising it, it's stretching your face. Do a big smile to stretch those muscles, and do a nasty frown, scrunch up, hate face, to get the muscles working in both directions. And remember that an open face sends a message of being interested in people, and it's interesting for them to look at. If your face is open and bright, your sound will be better. If you're a soprano, you know that if you sing with your eyebrows up and that part of your face raised, you're much more likely to reach those top notes. You're not going to be singing, but you do want the face to be open and expressive. And if it's held in a rather set expression and it doesn't really move very much, then your voice isn't going to move very much either. So get the face mobile so that it will be more animated and able to show what you're thinking and feeling in your process of communication. So another good thing to do is chewing. Pretend you're chewing revolting chewing gum. You don't need to blow the bubbles, just chew a lot, and you'll find that gets everything moving and also creates some saliva for you to swallow. So it's all stretching the face, relaxing and stretching the body, and then you'll feel really ready to go.